All right, welcome back, boys and girls. This is something really different. Um, this is a knife made by a belt company. So, Core Essentials, they were the originators, the inventors, I guess you would say, of the ratcheting belt system. I am wearing my Core Essentials belt, so I can't really show you right now, but I will do a video on my belt shortly after this one, right? So let me know in the comments. Do you care about seeing a everyday carry belt video or not? I mean, I'm going to do one anyway. Let's just get that straight. I mean, they sent me this knife and they sent me the belt for free. But as you'll come to understand when I talk about this, I am just going to tell you the absolute truth. Okay? So what we have here is their third knife that they have made. Sort of. This is called the standard issue. Now, it comes with this plastic case with the foam insert, a cleaning brush that is odd to me. I've never used a brush to clean my knives, but okay. This is solely manufactured by Core Essentials. Their previous two models were made by Tor Knives, and Core designed it and worked with them or something. I'm not really that clear on the first two knives, so I can only talk about this, their third knife, the standard issue. Now, what I did notice is there is a pull-through sharpening thing on the bottom of the case, which is interesting. The one that they sent me, and I think they're all this way, is partially serrated and with the normal, grind. So I guess you could pull this through like thus and sharpen up the edge. I have not done that. Quite frankly, when I first opened this container and got the knife a couple of weeks ago, I didn't even notice this was there. I really noticed that right before filming this video. This is an interesting knife, okay? It has that blade that we just saw and this other blade here that takes some wrist or some extra oomph to deploy. Now this one, I meant to hit the 2x zoom. This one, the cutting edge is here on this side. So this works really well, actually, for doing cardboard cutting. I literally just came in from outside. It gives you a great angle. You don't have to put your hand down or anything. You just go like this and boom, it's going to cut through. Okay? So for doing cardboard, this blade is actually way more useful than I thought it was going to be. But I just broke down a month of Amazon boxes, maybe 2 months. I usually get the cardboard boxes that people use to ship me knives and things like that. Usually I use the same box to ship it back to you. But sometimes I've gotten some new things. I've ordered some stuff from Amazon, things like that. Those boxes just get thrown in the garage into a big, massive pile. That's when you know you're old because you're like, hey, that's a good box. I may need that box. And so you keep it. And then once the pile gets so big I can't go in the garage, well, then I got to break it all down. And I did. I just spent a while and broke down a bunch of boxes and used this blade entirely for that. Now, it's really not that sharp anymore. I may have to use this and see if that will bring it back to life or not. And maybe that'll be a follow-up video because I'm not going to try to figure that out right now. Now, the rest of the knife, okay, so it comes in carbon fiber. It comes in G10 in OD green and black, I believe, are the three options. These run about $159 from Core Essentials. It's blocky. We're going to go through all the specs here in a few minutes, but let me just kind of tell you my impressions on this thing. It does have some cutouts here that help, but one of the first things I noticed, while I can deploy it, I wish there was more of a cutout to access the thumb stud. It's right there. It's really close. There have been many times where I have misfired because there's not a lot of purchase there. You have to be very intentional, okay? It is ambidextrous. The blade is off center because there's two blades, right? So they have an extended thumb stud on this side. So you can get to it over here for you left-handers. But again, I wish there was more of a cutout to access the thumb stud on either side, okay? I would bring this up just a little bit, this whole cutout, cut it out a little higher, and then maybe a little thinner than what it is, so you have more purchase of the thumb stud. I think it also needs some contouring. It's really kind of blocky. Let me zoom out a little bit. It's really kind of square on the edges. While it has these cutouts which help, I would like a little more contouring if possible. Now, again, this is the first knife they've ever produced. So I give them some... I'm a little not as hypercritical, I guess. So there's that. Now, this one does have an issue with some blade play in their crossbar lock. I do not recall that when I first got the knife, but I have been opening and closing it a bunch, trying to kind of break it in and get it a little easier. And then I did use this blade for a couple of the cuts in the cardboard just to get an idea. So I don't know if the pressure of cutting it sort of tweaked something inside. I don't know. I gotta just tell it like it is. So yeah, it's VG10. It's a Sanmai VG10, and reading their website, they say there's three layers of material here with VG10 in the core. I don't know what the other steels are. It seems a little much to me, but okay. And it is crossbar lock on this other blade as well. So I'm going to use the sharpener and try to bring this back to life and see what happens. I'll show you what it does on paper. Maybe what I'll do is, I don't know what I'm going to do. You'll just see. If I might splice something in at the end, cutting some more paper after I run it through that sharpening thing and see if that helps. So speaking of, let's just do that right now with a piece of paper that I happen to have here. You saw I cut through the cardboard. Let me zoom out so I can get it. It's literally not going to cut the paper right now at all. If I push it in, it's really just tearing it. It's not cutting it. So I will kind of, yeah, it's, so like 20 minutes of cardboard cutting completely dulled that edge. Again, not ideal. It does take up a lot in your pocket just because it is kind of blocky. So what do we got for specs? Because now I've rambled on. 5 inches closed, 8 1/8 overall with this blade deployed. I did not get an overall length with this. I figured this is just kind of a gimme. So we're not going to talk too much about that blade. 3.1 inch blade, 2.98 inches of cutting edge, 0.025 behind the edge. I do like the Tonto. That's one of my favorites. 0.112 blade thickness. The VG10 steel we talked about weighs in at 5.7 ounces. The overall thickness is 0.584. And it runs on washers / bushings. So let's zoom in here and I'll show you exactly what that is because we've got room here. So let me grab a light to really angle it in there. So you've got a big bushing, a big fat washer over here on this side, and then a shorter smaller washer on this side. Kind of a bushing, kind of just a really thick washer. And then up here, you can't really see it on this side. You can kind of see it in here. It's got the small washer on the left-hand side and the thicker one on the right-hand side. Very similar to what they did here. Okay, a little bit reverse, right? Similar to here, but they're reversed. The bigger one is on this side. The smaller one is on this side for this blade because it's more offset to this side, right? I think that makes sense. I rambled too long about that. You guys get it. You're smart people. So I think it needs work. I think it's got some merit. I like this little side blade, which is, I didn't even measure it, honestly. Let me get my caliper real quick just to tell you what that is. Blade length size. We're at 1.37, 1.4 inches, give or take. So it does give you, I really like that cutting ability. It puts it really in a nice position. It gives you a lot of leverage, and you can cut really well with that blade. So yeah, I'm going to put a link to Core Essentials website with this knife, the page to the knife, if you want to see some more details. These are intended for first responders, law enforcement, things like that, because it's more utilitarian. I think it just needs a little more work. Is it terrible? No. Is it fantastic? No. Is it worth $159? No. I think it has merit, but I think it needs a version 2 with some of those things addressed. Okay, here it is with the Spyderco Delica. Because I have it right here, the Kubi Carve KB237. So I'm going to pause it right here, and I'm going to work on the sharpening thing, and I am going to add that in at the end so you can see if I was able to bring the edge back at all to cut paper. All right, I'm back. I pulled it through that sharpening thing 200 times. And I don't know if I did it right or wrong. It feels a little sharper to the finger. However, it's really not. So yeah, I don't know. It kind of is what it is. There you go. Yeah, let me know your thoughts down below, guys. I am... all I can do is tell you how I see it. Whether it's a gift, whether a company gives me something or not. All I can do is tell you how it really performs for me and what I really think of it. Now, your mileage may vary, and you may see another video that says this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. All I can do is tell you my own personal opinions, and you can take them for what they're worth. Thanks for watching, everyone.